Hi there, it's Jeremy again. So, this coming week holds some anniversaries for me. My personal anniversary. My birthday's coming up. But there's another one that I want to reflect on. Now, I don't want this to sound like any sort of complaint. I have been relatively lucky. Yeah, I try to work hard, but I make some dumb mistakes too. But those dumb mistakes, well, they don't cost me as much as they would some people. I've been pretty lucky. But into every life, some rain must fall. Which reminds me of this case years ago when I was a kid. When I first got into kites, it was during one of the Lincoln City Kite Festivals. The wind was awesome. Now, mind you, this was at a point just past where every time my kite would fly, it would drag me away. And I lived for that feeling. I loved getting drug off, wrestling with my kite. But I was starting to grow. But with this wind, it didn't matter. If the kite would fly, it would drag a full-grown person away. It was something. And the rain was coming with it. It was a goodly storm. So, the kiting community, which had gathered for the weekend, gathered up against the side of the bathroom building, and we took turns. We'd go out into kite-breaking weather and fly until we were worn out or our kite was broken, or sometimes both. It was awesome. It was horrible, but it was so fun. And that was my first lived example of raging against the storm. We were there to have a good time, and that weather didn't seem interested in letting us have a good time, and, well, we didn't care. We were going to have a good time anyway. Well, fast forward several years. Fast forward to about 7 years ago. I was working for some folks who had done pretty well by me. But then something switched. Something happened. Those folks wanted a lot out of us for about 2 months. I knew for almost all of those 2 months that the end of the tunnel was coming. I could see the light. Unfortunately, they wanted enough that I wasn't really able to prepare for the end of the tunnel. But sure enough, after working the crew ragged for a couple of months, the doors closed. All the positions were gone. And just in time for my birthday. Oh, it felt so good. Well, that weekend, just days after, another storm came along. And I I recognized some of my limits. I knew I wasn't going to be able to go out onto the beach and rage against the storm that way. I also knew that it, it wasn't the catharsis that I needed. Fortunately, my oldest was able to drive, so I had him drive me to the next county. And I took a walk. I took an 8-mile walk in the rain. It was such a storm. It was great. And if I kept moving, if I kept raging against that storm, I was comfortable enough. So I did. I kept moving. I kept working through it. Was I happy to lose the position? No. No, I enjoyed the work for the most part. Did I recognize that it couldn't have lasted? Sure. Did I wish that those folks could have handled it differently? You betcha. Did it matter what I wished? Not a bit. But how I handled it mattered. I was pleased with myself that I took some time to rage against the storm. Now, this is the third time I'd lost a position in just a handful of years. Did I mention my oldest was driving? Well, he was supposed to be graduating that year, which meant I wasn't going to be able to be there for him because I was going to have to work whenever I could possibly work to keep the roof. But taking that walk, raging against that storm, that helped me rage against the storm. I like to be happy. I like to live in paradise. But even in paradise, it rains. Hurricanes happen right there in paradise. So sometimes you just need to buckle down and rage against the storm. And the next time I need a reminder that I need to do that, I hope I can find this post. I hope that it will be some use to someone else. Be happy. But occasionally, you just gotta let it out. And I hope that when you need to let it out, you can find productive, non-destructive ways to do that, ways that won't hurt other folks. Because hurt people hurt people. So, I think that's all I've got this time around. I've gassed on long enough, I think. So, until next time, take care of each other. And take care of yourself.